It's crazy to think that at one point these fragrances were new. You know, they were the newest item on the block. Everybody was excited to try them for the first time and wear them. And now we've gotten to the point where we're so flanker focused, these feel like they came out a lifetime ago. They're kind of obsolete at this point. And what I wanted to do with this video was to shine some light on some forgotten fragrances, you know, the forgotten originals that kind of kicked off the fragrance lines to some extent, but yet we just don't hear about them anymore because of all of the new releases that we're getting hit with, you know, multiple times a year, in some cases with some of these single fragrance lines alone, or at the very minimum, at least a new flanker every other year or something, which still really adds up quick. And I think we're kind of conditioned to go for the newest flanker, the newest release, and in our minds, we kind of just automatically come to the conclusion that this is the better one. This new release is better, therefore making these older, more original releases not as good. And maybe that's the case sometimes, but not always, and these are great. Don't write them off. Definitely give them a chance if you haven't yet. We're going to talk about each of them today. This first one is Spicebomb. Yes, Spicebomb. Man, this is my original bottle. Oh, it's kind of cool. It's all worn off here, Spicebomb, the lettering. It's pretty empty. There's the level right there. My gosh, I haven't seen this in a long time. It's been stashed away at the back of my collection. I've got a 150 ml bottle as well, which I'll wear out of from time to time. This is kind of my older vintage bottle, but Spicebomb Eau de Toilette, you just don't hear about this anymore because, well, we have Spicebomb Extreme, some of the infrareds, the night visions, and basically it's just Spicebomb Extreme is the one that people go for. Now, can you make the argument that Spicebomb Extreme is the better version between the two? Yes, and I would probably tend to agree with you on that aspect. I do think that in most cases, Spicebomb Extreme is the better release at this point. I think it performs a bit better. I like the fact that it's a little bit more mature. However, that doesn't mean that Spicebomb Eau de Toilette is all of a sudden a bad scent just because now we have some other options. Like you can get bottles of this for 60 bucks now. I'll link it down below. 90 ml testers, $59, which is just crazy. You know, this original and Spicebomb Extreme have always been more expensive, but lately they've come down in price. You guys know the deal with this one. It has that cinnamon, it has that leather, a whole bunch of spices to go along with it, some tobacco in here also. It is truly just a warm, spicy, and at the same time, kind of a somewhat playful smelling scent. This one got very popular for a number of reasons, and I've always said kind of the main factors for sure is the bottle presentation. Who doesn't like a grenade-looking bottle with the little pull tab to kind of, you know, seal the deal there. Everything about the presentation is cool. It is a strong performing, loud, attention-grabbing scent. So this was basically destined for success when it first came out, and it definitely did achieve that. At this point, no one's really wearing it. You're not seeing this one mentioned as much in light of all of the other releases, but again, that doesn't mean it's bad. Pick up Spicebomb EDT and give it a spray every now and then. I think you would be surprised at just how good this one still is, even as we're heading into 2026. This next one is Valentino Uomo. Talked about this one quite a bit as well. I love the hazelnut, coffee, chocolate, leather combination in here with a little bit of iris as well, but it's definitely not at the forefront like in Uomo Intense. This one's more gourmand. It's a little bit more sweet in that sense, but at the same time, it does kind of have a maturity to it. It does kind of have a bit of a masculine edge and just a refined nature about it. So, of course, at this point, we have Uomo Intense, which is pretty much the most popular, but the Born in Romas have been really growing in popularity as well. Born in Roma Intense is one that I really enjoy a lot, and they're are continuing to come out with more year over year, therefore pushing this original further and further away. At this point, this is by far the most affordable one you can get, coming in at around usually $60 or so for 100 ml. This is a 150 ml here, which wasn't a bad price per milliliter at the time, which is why I bought it. So no matter which way you go, you're going to be paying less for the original than you are for most of the flankers at this point. And I think people see that in combination with the fact that it's old and they write it off. They say, oh, it's cheaper, it's been out forever, it's probably not as good, right? And again, you know, that argument can go both ways. Uomo Intense is still amazing, but there are times when I do like the different twist that this one provides. And even though it does have those gourmand notes, all that chocolate, coffee, hazelnut, all that stuff going on, there is a bit of a freshness to it as well, which is not expected when you look at those notes. But when you do smell this one, it is there. Just a little bit of a freshness to it. Not quite as overbearing as Uomo Intense, which is nice for certain occasions. Don't write off the original Uomo. It's really good. Highly recommend at least giving it a try if you haven't yet. This next one is Allure Homme by Chanel. Just, you know, the original. Again, stopping right there at Allure Homme. At this point, we have Allure Homme Sport, Sporto Extreme, Edition Blanche, and then, you know, the cologne versions, and then the very limited Super Leggera version, which of course had to be amazing. You know, the one that had to be a very limited edition release that now you already can't get. That one was a lot better than expected, but almost can't even count that at this point. Going all the way back to this original, which I believe was what, a late 90s release, early 2000s, somewhere around in there. So been out for a while now. I'm sure was very popular at the time. I obviously wasn't into fragrances at that point when it was released. And by the time I was getting into them, Allure Homme Sport Extreme was at kind of the top of the game there for a while. And that's where I started and kind of worked my way through from there. This was the last one that I ended up purchasing, ironically, the originator of the line. This one has vanilla, lemon, peach, and punch of tonka bean, some vanilla in here, and a whole bunch of other notes. Go look at the note breakdown. It is extensive. Back when they would put a ton of notes in there. This stuff is amazing. It's got the Chanel atomizer, as we would expect, pumping out a ton of liquid, which is nice because you get good coverage, but I'm sure, and I would bet money on this, that there is more of a reason behind that in the sense of you just use more liquid each time you spray it. Therefore, you're going to have to buy another bottle quicker. But anyway, this stuff smells amazing. Creamy, smooth, fruity, sweet, with just the right amount of a freshness to it, like an aromatic freshness. It is amazing. It truly does smell alluring. And again, can you make the argument that you'd be better spending your money on Allure Homme Sport Extreme, Allure Homme Sport? It all depends on what you like, really. As far as performance is concerned, you're not going to be getting a beast mode performer out of any of the Allures, or really any Chanel in general, except for maybe Bleu de Chanel Exclusive, which is really strong. Other than that, they're not known for beast mode. Never really have been. This one's no exception, but it does smell great. The quality is top tier, and again, it's forgotten. And at this point, if you wear this, you might actually stand out a little bit. Let's go with Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Toilette. This is the 2017, and that is very important. Please listen closely here. This is the bottle you should be looking for. Some websites will say 2017, others won't, but if this is the picture in the listing, this is what you want. If you go for Gentleman Eau de Toilette, and it's the more square looking bottle that looks like it's from the 70s, because I think that's probably somewhere, at least that's what it smells like when it was released. Yeah, huge difference between the two. Get this one here, the 2017, that looks like this, looks modern. The other version, it smells old school, and it's not something I like, and judging by the reviews online, people buy that on accident and are repulsed by it, because there's a lot of one-star reviews on random websites because they bought that not expecting what they were going to get. So make sure you get the right thing here. You can also look at the note breakdown. So this one has pear in it, the 2017, that's the one you want. So it's got iris, pear, lavender, nice fruity sweetness off the opening, bright as well. Little bit of a very soapy, clean iris, nice fresh aromatic lavender in here. So overlooked because, well, we have a multitude of others. Gentleman Eau de Parfum, Reserve Privé, Eau de Toilette Intense, Eau de Parfum Boisé, and Cologne, and probably a few more that I'm missing as well. There's so many, and people just don't really look at this one. You can get 100 ml testers for like $45. There's really no reason not to pick this one up in this time right now, 2025, moving into 2026. You don't get good quality fragrances at this price point anymore, or at least I should say it's nowhere near as common. With the continuous increase in retail prices, that kind of somewhat drives up the discounter prices as well. And so to get a good quality scent from a big brand for 40, less than $50. Again, that's just becoming less and less common. So grab a bottle of this. I don't know that they'll ever discontinue it. I would hope not, but it wouldn't surprise me either. They're focusing so heavily on the creation of new releases that at some point they clean house and get rid of the old stuff. So it is a possibility at some point, but I do like this. It's going to be really the freshest that you can get that's in production. So the cologne version, not counting that, it's discontinued. The Eau de Toilette Intense is pretty fresh, but this one's still fresher. It's brighter. I like that pear in here. It's kind of unique. It smells really, really good. And again, nobody talks about this. We're going to finish this video off with John Varvatos Artisan. It's not, John Varvatos Pour Homme. That's technically what started the entire John Varvatos brand in terms of fragrances, but John Varvatos Artisan started the Artisan lineup in particular, which is kind of what I'm focusing on because within this lineup, they have created a number of amazing scents. Artisan Pure, Artisan Aqua, Artisan Blue, Artisan Black, no particular order there in terms of release date or my favorites because they're all really good. Artisan Black discontinued, which sucks because it was a great one. But Artisan Pure, Artisan Blue, Artisan Aqua, you could still get those for the most part, and they are amazing. And because of those, and also just the other new releases from the brand outside of the Artisan line, you don't hear a single person really talk about OG Artisan, and there's so much to love about this one. The only thing that kind of sucks is the performance, but at $30, it's kind of hard to complain. Got clementine, orange blossom, and tangerine, so basically a whole bunch of orange. No surprise, and when you spray this one, when you smell it, I'll tell you, it is orange heavy, and I love everything about that. It is so refreshing. It smells like a nice, freshly squeezed orange that you're gonna make orange juice out of. It is just so realistic, so vibrant, so satisfying, so refreshing and crisp. This is the perfect vacation scent, assuming you're going on vacation when it's warm and you're going to, the beach or the lake or something, tropical based or water based. I wouldn't wear this on vacation to the mountains in December. But for a summer vacation, this is just so well suited for a situation like that. It's just one that you could wear every day because it's cheap. You can, pretty much bathe in the stuff because it's cheap, and you can make great memories around this scent. And then every time you go back and smell this one when you're back at home, you can just kind of get transported back to that time and place when you were wearing this a lot. Just one of the many uses for Artisan. Again, affordable, Nobody talks about it, and I think that's a shame because it is really, really nice. And they just don't really make things like this anymore. They just don't, and that's a bummer. All right, guys, there you go. Some forgotten fragrance gems that are just overshadowed by a lot of new releases and new flankers just because they've been out for a while, just because really across the board, these are all the cheapest in terms of, in comparison to the rest of the lineup, the new releases. And so don't correlate that with, oh, it's inferior. These still have a place to me. I will link everything down below to discounters. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.